What is up, fellow epic Fortnite gamers? It is your boy Dashy here with a video about the new drift class that was added to Crash Team Racing Nitro Fueled. So how this video is going to go is I'm going to quick tell you the most important stuff if you want to just get that out of the way and move on to the next video or carry on with your day. Then after I tell you that stuff, I'm going to show you my initial reaction to when I first tried out this drift class, and then I'm going to go on to show some testing that I did afterwards. So the first thing that you need to know right off the bat is there was a new class that was added to the game called the drift class. It has the second highest top speed in the game and a slightly higher acceleration than the speed class, and then slightly more turning than the speed class. However, that is not actually the case, and the drift class actually has the same top speed as the turning class. However, it does have a quirk to it where if you do 3 mini turbos in the same power slide and they're perfect, you get an off-brand Sacred Fire. I'm not going to get too far into that, but basically all you need to know is there's two different Sacred Fires. One's kind of like a little bit slower and you can get it from jump boosts, or there's the regular one that you can get from turbo pads. This one will give you the lesser one with 3 power slide boosts in a row. However, this is about the same as what you would get for Sacred Fire with a turning character, which is about the same as or slightly faster than the Yellow Fire or the normal triple boost power slide that you would get from a balanced character. So people kind of consider this to be like maybe a halfway point between beginner and balanced. It's a little more forgiving than turning because you can take a hit and still get Sacred Fire back. Either which way, though, the main thing that needs to be brought up is the fact that it is not even remotely accurate in stats, as it is actually tied for the slowest class in the game. So that's the main information that you need to know. I'm going to move into the section of the video of my initial reaction of basically what this video would have been if I didn't quickly figure out that something is very off with these stats. I'm going to show my initial reaction to this class. It's nice. Okay, so here you go. Here's your new engine swap. We can make Coco's speed, acceleration, turning, balanced, whatever. We're gonna check out Drift. Drift looks like it's slightly, supposedly, right? We're going off the fact that this is what it says, even though most of the stats were always a lie. So supposedly it is slightly slower than speed, accelerates slightly faster, and has slightly better turning. So we're gonna give this a try. If you guys have seen me play before, I typically do not like speed characters. So if it has the little flick to it, I'm gonna notice it basically immediately. And we're also racing against my Ghost, so we'll be able to see if there's really any discernible speed difference between it and Excel. I'm just playing Crash Cove right now because I have a time trial set, so I want to be able to compare this stuff. Yeah, so they added the GP stuff from GP 1 2 that were missing, so you can buy Tana Pink and everything like that. Then you can also go check out Nina's Nightmare, which is what we will probably do after this. Okay, so this feels... I don't know how I feel about this yet. I can't tell if this has the little flick to it. I feel like it does, but it's like not nearly as strong as a speed character's flick. Also, I should have U-turned that to give it to see. Yeah, it does. It definitely does. But it's definitely not as strong. It's We need to actually see if we can compare the speed a little bit. Might be better if I do this on like Engine Labs or something with a straightaway. Honestly, this doesn't look any faster. I'm gonna be completely real with you. This does not feel much different from Excel, other than a slight flick. Personally, I do not know if I'll switch. I don't know. I am slowly but surely catching up to my Ghost though, so maybe it is a little bit faster. Maybe that is truthful. It's very hard to tell though. Let's go to a track I'm a little bit better familiar with, actually. Maybe that'll be a good comparison, actually. I don't like it. I don't like it at all, really. This is like an intermediate between speed and acceleration, but I just don't like it. I feel like if you're gonna... No, I don't know, dude. This doesn't feel good. This is either like just play speed or just play acceleration. There's really... I don't feel like there's enough benefit to picking this class. Unless it's just for a learning curve, because you have to deal with the flick, but there's like not a discernible speed difference to make it worth it. Yeah, I hate this. I actually hate this. Okay, this track has a lot of straightaways, so really I should be able to do something here. I really don't like this at all. I really don't like this at all. It just does not feel good to me. It does not. Really, the only way I can think to describe is it really just feels like a weightier acceleration. And I get like, alright, I'm really experienced in Excel, and it's gonna be hard for me to ever catch up to my acceleration Ghost. Holy shit, my Ghost is gone. I don't know, dude. This really feels slow. I don't like this at all. I'm just amazed at how far my Ghost is already. I am led to believe this is not even faster. Because this is insane. Like, I should not be being left in the dust this badly if this class is supposedly faster. Like, my lines are not fantastic, but they are not that bad. Like, my Ghost isn't even in view. My Ghost just finished lap 2. Yeah, I don't know, dude. I'm just kind of saying the same shit over and over, but I don't really have anything else to say. This really is amazing me how like slower this is without me really making any discernible like misplays. Like discernible over what my PB is. This is insane. This is not no, that doesn't make any sense at all. Like I lost 6 seconds to acceleration. There's something up with that. That's not correct. The stats cannot be. There's no way that those stats are right. So, as you can see, I kind of figured out towards the end of that something was definitely off there. So what I ended up doing is I actually started running some time trials on some different courses, and I actually have this these time trials from Coco Park where I ran a run. I actually made a new account so I wouldn't have an old ghost to go off of, and I set a personal best as the drift class. Basically, not really the absolute optimized time, but it's a pretty solid run as a drift character. I'm going to quick do a run through of that right now, and you can see that it's mostly clean. We end up getting a 122.71 total. Our starting lap is a 28.96, and then our fast laps are somewhere around 26.80. Basically says, you know, it's pretty decent first laps given the fact that, you know, you can get Sacred Fire pretty early as opposed to normally in a time trial it ends up being kind of late. It's usually towards the end of the track. So after I do this run for drift, I decide to go straight into the turning class to make the easiest comparison with the slowest class available. So I'm going to do this run through right now to show you. Now you're going to be saying, Dashy, you're going really wide on this first turn. I have to, or I don't get yellow fire. A small price to pay, and that's what happens when you play turning. So we're gonna go wide for this Turo path. Now the real question is gonna be, are we gonna catch up to our ghost, who supposedly has 6 out of 7 speed compared to a turning? Now what you're gonna see is we end up getting a 123.78. That ends up being about a second slower than the drift's time. Our first lap is about a full second slower at a 29.89. However, the fast laps are only 0.05 seconds slower, which you can argue is just human error. It ends up probably being about the same. So what does this really tell you from there? Okay, well, it probably tells you that the top speeds are probably about the same, and you can only get an advantage from that early Sacred Fire. But we don't stop there. We end up doing a run through of balance just to see how it stacks up against it. So we'll show the balanced run here. I actually end up pausing the run at the very end because I do not want my ghost to be beaten, because I want to be able to see the time comparison for other classes as well. So what you'll end up seeing with this balanced run is, for one, as you get yellow fire, the ghost that has Sacred Fire is only slightly pulling ahead of me. It's pulling ahead in the first lap, but it's not too much. And then the moment I get Sacred Fire on the balanced character, I end up pulling ahead. You know, I end up catching back up to it pretty quickly and pulling ahead. So this does tell you that it is not a visual bug with that Sacred Fire. You're actually getting an off-brand Sacred Fire that is a little bit faster from the drift class. But it is still slower than what you get from a balanced character. Yeah, look at this. We've already caught back up as balanced. 26.3. We end up getting a 122 to X. give or take, probably for a total time. Single lap or starting lap ends up being a 29:59. Kind of slow, but you know, it's a little bit slower than the drift class still. And then our fast laps are now down to a 26.3, so about a half a second faster than the drift class. And then just to round it all off, we decided, all right, let's go to acceleration just to really put the nail in the coffin here. And what you find out basically right away is that the acceleration class, even when you only do 2 boosts in a row, not even 3 to get yellow fire, it ends up being pretty much the same speed, a little bit faster than that sacred fire you're getting on the drift class. So there's really no comparison from there. Even if you basically spend the entire track without ever getting sacred fire, it ends up being a little bit faster than what you can get with the drift class, which is kind of sad when you really come to think about it. But realistically, what we ended up getting with this run is about a 119x something. The starting lap was a 28:72, which again is about 0.2 seconds faster than what the drift class was even going to get. And that includes the fact that we swung out wide to hit the boost pad with the acceleration class. And then our fast laps are about 25.6. We're not even going to compare the speed class. Basically, the takeaway here is that it's not a strictly visual thing going on here. There is actually a gameplay difference happening that is slightly faster than what you would normally have. And it only applies to this drift class. I've seen people saying that they had this happen with all classes. All classes now give sacred fire with three perfect boosts. That's complete BS. We just did a run through of all the other classes. Didn't happen for those either. It's just the drift class. So the drift class, what I'm basically coming down to at this point is it's nice for beginners because it's a little bit more forgiving when you lose fire, if you lose fire, because you can just get it right back up to a competitive speed, if you will. It is still slower than acceleration or speed. So if you really already play acceleration or speed, there's no real point to switch to the drift class whatsoever. That's pretty much all I'm going to have to say about this. Basically, for fun class, it's kind of a meme. It was a cool idea, and I just really wish that the actual stat bars were a little bit more accurate there, because I think a lot of people are going to be confused when they see that the stats there say 6 out of 7, but in reality, it's 1 out of 7.